Alright, here to inform you about the guitar here. Guitar is part of the chord phones family. There are multiple different types of the acoustic guitar. And pretty basic though. And how many things can you make a whole and make sound with? You first start off with your wood selection, which most people use the Brazilian rosewood. It's a popular one. It's been dying out because it's more expensive and less of it around. So they've been switching to different kinds. It depends on the company as well. You start off with your book matching. The wood for the top of the guitar is cut from lumber using a process called book matching, which is a method. A single piece of wood is sliced into two slices, two sheets of each, same length, and pretty much the same width as well, because they have to match each other from the front and back. With the guitar, there's so much inspection done when building it. A lot of people don't like guitars that are made by machine. They almost want someone to hand make it, but that takes a lot of time. So a lot of times companies use machines run by men or women, I guess, not to be sexist. Then you have your next step is to cut into the guitar shape, of course, and you have to make sure you cut the sound hole out for the front, or your guitar won't make very good noise. And then they have this little they usually put a groove right in around the sound hole to put a little decoration around it to make it look all fancy and nice. And your strutting, which is wood braces glued next to underside of the top piece. And a lot of companies do it differently. They have like an X pattern that most companies use, but everyone's trying to up the game and try different patterns to see what's the best sounding. And then constructing the sides, it consists of cutting and sanding wood down to a certain thickness, and then it's softened in water to form the shape of the guitar, and put your back and top together to form your bottom half of your guitar. And then once they're all put together, you have the shape of your guitar basically. That's all that needs. And then you have your neck and fingerboard. This neck is one hard piece of wood here. It's typically mahogany or rosewood, carved to its exact specifications. It's a reinforcement rod is inserted through the neck of the guitar, so it doesn't bend as easy when you have all this tension on with your strings. And then you have your fingerboard added, which each is separated with a little metal strip, so that when you tap down on the guitar, you can make sounds without even really strumming it. Helps separate your different frets as well, and keep the vibration going when you're pushing down on it. And then they polish your guitar and make it look all nice and fancy. My acoustic guitar doesn't look as nice and fancy, it's a wooden beat. And with your tuning machine, you have a mechanism inside, which is basically gears. So this can keep turning even when there's not strings on there, continuously turn and never tighten up. But when you put strings on it, put it through a little loop, they tighten up, and if you tighten it too much, your strings will snap and it hurts. But you tighten it to the specific tune you want, you can tune in all kinds of different tunings, drop D, your different open scales, all kinds of fancy stuff. Now with your acoustic guitar, sounds produced when you strum or pluck strings or multiple strings, and it comes down, the vibrations are transferred down to the soundboard. The saddle absorbs and then sends them back up into the sound box. And when it's in the sound box, the air notations or whatever sound make your sound that you hear through your ear. Vibrations come out through the sound hole to produce a louder sound. Then you have your electric guitar, which mine weighs a ton. And your electric guitar uses pickups. So it senses the vibrations with magnets It's a set of 6 magnets wrapped thousands of times in copper wire thinner than a human hair. Typically have 2 to 3 pickups. My pickups are very bad in my guitar. And it uses a Faraday's law of induction, which states that charging of magnetic field will generate electricity. Your electric current then carried to the input jack, which is basically your string down here, your cord, your electrical cord. It's sent through a series of digital processors to get the right sound to come out of your amp. You have to make sure, without that you could blow an amp. It basically makes it so it's not too strong of a sound. And even if you turn your amp all the way up, it should be basically modified so that it can't really blow the amp. You wouldn't want to overdo your amp like that. This creates louder copies of the source. Once the signal is suitably conditioned and loud enough, it is sent to the amp speaker and reaches our ears. Because without the amp, you don't really get a sound with your guitar. With the amp, you can hear it a lot better. And that's basically the guitar.